Hello, friends.
Stop dangling.
We're so professional.
We had a shindig last night. We were together until 12 hours ago, and here we are. Shazam, back again. Tag team, back again. I'm Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair and JP. Happy to be with you on this Wednesday, July 1st.
Dang, I can't believe it's already July.
I know. So we
really
have, it's like, it just went like this.
It's like yesterday,
it was just Christmas.
Like yesterday, we were at the governor's mansion for the Christmas party, literally. And we had just met each other.
Yesterday, we were just coming up to fill in for Phil. And you were like, who are these wild, crazy women?
And I remember hearing y'all's voices in the lobby of the building, coming up the stairs. And I remember Allison coming up first going, I'm Allison Sinclair.
What was I trying to prove?
Kid lawyer.
But that's just how you introduce yourself. Like, I'm Allison Sinclair.
Which is so not me.
Who remembers that? Who remembers Sunny with a Chance?
Sunny with a Chance of Meatballs?
I don't know.
Do you remember that on the Disney show?
I remember this movie.
Whatever her name was. Kid lawyer. I fight for you. I got to go find that clip. Anyway, here we are, JP. How much longer? I mean, really, when was the first time we filled in?
That was like beginning of October 2025.
Okay. Well,
are you sure it wasn't September?
Celebratory day.
I'm pretty. Well, no, it may have been September because Phil found out about September, like early September, about the gig.
No, because
he found out in the summer.
August.
Oh,
I
was
was
it really?
It was in August because I remember I was on the
yeah.
trail being stalked by bears.
Mm-hmm.
It was July
And it
when
was
you
like,
were on
Phil
your
Williams
trip.
is calling, or do I run from the bear poop?
And you talked to Phil, and here we are.
And I remember.
So sorry.
I remember the
Sorry.
day he came into my office and told me the news, and he goes, "But I think I got some good people that you're gonna like that are gonna take it."
Was he talking about somebody else?
No, he was talking about y'all. And I think his exact words were, "They're gonna love on you. They're gonna be great, and they're strong conservatives. All that stuff." He was talking y'all up. But I remember that day. Hey, by the way, I'm gonna be U.S. attorney, but don't worry, I got your people.
No biggie. I don't know. I just remember getting that call and I kind of laughing out loud. It was so out of nowhere. And that's, after we had left our old show, kind of decided I was just, like I said, going to play mahjong and golf and kind of live that life for a while. God had other plans.
Mm-hmm.
He had we were just going to do a podcast.
We were just going to do a podcast.
Weekly podcast.
The Pretty Right podcast.
Yeah.
Which may still happen.
We don't know because we've never even actually named our podcast.
No, it's going to be the Pretty Right podcast.
Oh my gosh.
It is the Pretty Right podcast.
Yeah.
What?
Neon sign's not on.
Oh, this is bad.
There you go.
Ta-da! Now it's official.
JP. We did party too hard last night then.
We did. Okay. Wow.
Anyway,
wow. Okay.
Very happy to be here. It's been a whirlwind, but so much
Look
fun.
at us now.
And things like last night. Oh, I love that photo. That makes me so happy. That is us. JP slightly judging us.
He's like, look at that face. Hey, y'all caption that face.
Allison's in the middle of a
Caption
monologue.
that.
Like, why is nobody listening to me?
Amy Beth's like perfect.
Perfectly
Miss
posed in
Alabama.
the back. Going,
Y'all
y'all pull it together.
Y'all are a hoot.
Who's in the background?
Some
that's
cute
Annie.
girl. Oh, it is Annie. I need to know where she got that
Oh,
darling
and
little t-shirt
Shannon.
dress. And then her sweet daughter. No,
Yeah,
that wasn't her
that
sweet
was her
daughter.
friend. Y'all, we went to Katie Britt's barbecue last night, and it was a barbecue.
Let me say Sweet Creek Barbecue, primo. I'm sorry, honey. I was going to buy you some jalapeno pepper pickle things. It didn't happen because you know what we were doing, guys? Talking.
It's what we do best.
That's a great picture, by the way.
Oh, my word. Look at us.
See, it was 95 degrees, and she
You look
still looks
good.
good.
Allison, you look great.
Okay, well, I didn't feel great. I felt like a drowned. I felt like Scott.
Oh no! Who's about to come out?
We don't want to know.
When we were inside sitting
Oh,
and
yeah.
eating, and Scott Stahagen came in. I can't talk about him without he introduced Katie. And he walks up. Well, no, Wesley. He introduced Wesley, who introduced Katie. But anyway, he walks up to the event. We've got video. I think it's going to be in our little reel. And he's in like a suit and a coat and like a what? It's 90, 100 degrees outside.
It was. Gosh, it was hot.
Don't
But-
give me like a minute. I can pull that video up.
Okay.
When he walked into the air-conditioned building,
Well,
and his shirt was that's how I felt in that picture. I wish. Yeah, that's how I felt. But Katie that was at the end of the night. Literally, we shut down the party. When we left, they had to escort us off of
they did. That's true.
it's not a lie. But she looked so good. And she was in her tennis shoes. Praise God. 'cause
And
I
we
wore
met her
mine.
mom.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
her mom is awesome. I love her.
Yeah, yeah.
Such a dance studio owner. Like just beautiful, sassy. Will want to hang out with her. Proud of her daughter.
Very.
And it was also great. But also, Allison and I were able to enlighten a few people about some things, like where to find the actual air conditioner.
I don't know. No, I don't think people knew it was back there. If you haven't been to Sweet Creek, it's a little intimidating. There's lots of different little parts, but we quickly.
We're like, guys, do you know where to go? And they're like, no, like follow us. And then, air, cold
It was
air.
hot.
This was Scott walking up.
How you doing?
Okay, everybody stop. Look who it is. It's the chairman. It's the chairman. It's Scott.
It's hot as fire.
I think that's right. I mean, what?
He is a professional.
He had to be the chairman. I said, where's your t-shirt?
And then watch your husband goes, we just need to rip these.
Yeah, we're making a video.
You gotta take your sleeves off or something.
What are you doing?
But I love this part at the end.
First,
What's up, JP? Sorry, I didn't get to speak with you.
I mean, I was trying to be so professional with our little microphones, and he's not paying a lick of
No, not a
attention
bit.
to me.
No one.
Abs, where were you?
I was talking already to my bestie Melanie
Oh, you were.
because
Okay.
she's, a regional a field director.
I love he goes, are y'all live?
Chairman. It's the chairman. It's Scott. Yeah, what? That's so funny.
He and unbelievably, he's going to let us on his podcast.
Yeah, that's so.
That there's a surprise with that. We can't tell anybody.
Can
about
we
that part.
talk about?
No,
podcasts?
no. Mm-mm. We got to get permission first.
Well, you just did.
No, I mean that we're going to be on the podcast, but who else is going to be there?
Oh,
That's a secret.
Yeah.
So it was an amazing time, and it was the best of times, and because it was 1,100 degrees, it was the worst of times.
I'm so glad that we have fun hanging out together. Can you imagine if we hated hanging out?
I mean, we were together all day yesterday. Drove down, drove back. We're still talking when I dumped y'all out in the parking lot at 9:19 p.m. last night. Who's counting?
Mm.
And then we're back again this morning for some more fun.
yeah, it would stink if we didn't like each other.
What a
we were-
blessing.
if we were in the heat yesterday and they're like, oh, Allison,
Yeah.
nuts.
Yeah. At least we wore dresses and we were
Yeah.
as cool as we could be under the circumstances.
It was hot, and I think it's just getting hotter this week. Isn't that what it's going to be?
I
Please
think
tell me it's not supposed to rain this
I
weekend.
would
No, I-
reconsider your thoughts on hell after how hard it is this week. And if
Yeah.
you have not surrendered and submitted, I know we want to
Try not
spend
to
an
go there.
eternity with God, but I wouldn't want to be as hot as it is in Alabama last
Yeah.
night.
I think James Spann said this will be the hottest week of the year.
No, I immediately know I'm going to have to stay inside. So
At least we have these hats.
yeah, we do have cool hats.
Katie Britt had some swag.
The hat I got last night was
t-shirt?
I love that hat. That's so cool.
When we do our next event,
I kind of want to try on y'all's hats because I may want.
we need to have swag bags, guys. We're going to
We're
get
not
sponsors.
Katie Britt level yet.
Well, but when we have Penny University starting in September quarterly,
That'll be good.
we're going to have some merch. I don't know how, but I would invite you, if you'd like to partner with us, reach out. I'm your lady. Okay. So, now, guys, here's the day. We have the word of the day. We have Yammer. We have the montage. We have the Terry Latham coming on to talk about education, AEA antics. She is the former chairwoman of ALGOP. I was on the executive committee when she was my chairwoman. But she mixes it up in education. We cannot wait to talk to her. She's actually beaming in, Scotty, from somewhere else.
She's
From
gonna
jolly
join
old
No.
England,
Oh, yep.
right?
So no, I don't think so.
Oh yeah, she's not. You're right. She's back.
Yeah,
Just
I don't
kidding.
think so.
So anyway, so she's back. And then we have a lady we interviewed yesterday. You'll recognize our clothes from yesterday, named Dr. Ashley Lucas, who is going to talk to us about
She's
health
back in-
and fitness, what we put into our bodies. Really interesting because she also does a little tiny history lesson on food and where we've come
God, I
from and
forgot
where
it.
we
Yes. Yeah.
What time would we like to do that?
are. Whatever time you say, sir.
Terry is coming on 10:40, and then I think we should just end the show,
End the show with that interview.
with
Okay.
Dr. Ashley.
So we're going to have her
kind
back.
of a big deal.
I know she is a big deal.
Didn't realize.
She's got 53,000 YouTube subscribers.
Yeah,
Mhm.
she's on it. She's really good. What else do we have? Do we have a Muslim minute?
Oh yeah, we
Of
do.
course.
Which one are we playing? I don't. You know what? Don't tell
Wait,
us.
Okay, I'll surprise you.
Surprise us. Did you get the
Yes.
one I sent you in the group, and then the other one I sent you?
You will surely die.
I just want you to.
I
have
got.
that
I did.
rolling.
I
Okay.
did. I
All
got
right.
both of those.
So are you
Guys-
just gonna choose whatever?
Yeah, I'll surprise you.
Okay, it'll be a surprise.
All right. First up, we're gonna word of the day, then yammer.
Yes.
I'm calling it.
Yes.
Okay, because I love this word so much. It is time, ladies and gentlemen, for word of the day.
Three, two, one. Oh, Katie Britt did that last
She
night. right?
did.
She did the.
She did that.
She did,
I think if anybody can do that, it's probably her.
guys.
To Chris Murphy.
Yes.
Back at you.
This word, this is an old
Mhm.
word. It is such a good word. It means a very rich or important person. A very rich.
An aristocrat?
Close.
Mm.
A very rich or important person. Think about the
Oh.
literature you read in 11th grade English, maybe 10th grade, perhaps Pride and Prejudice, or I don't even know what.
Oh. Okay.
Um,
Does it
but
end
it-
with crat?
Nope. It's just a short little word that makes me giggle. And there's actually 2 words of the day, but this one is this is funny.
I thought
I don't even know what she. I don't even know if we want to know what she thought.
You know what? I'm gonna just tell you. I'm
no,
gonna put you out of your
no,
misery.
no. What does
You're
it
not
start
gonna
with?
get the word.
Tell me what it starts with.
N. I mean,
A nougat.
you're close.
No way.
I'm not gonna get it. You said.
Just keep trying.
Okay, fine.
A nabob.
Wow.
Ridiculous word.
Never ever said nabob. I've never heard.
You've read it. You've read it, or your teacher read it to you because that's the word from like the 50s.
Never-
nabob.
Ever heard that word.
Oh, it's a British word, nabob.
Speaking of, we
Yes,
do need
darling.
to work on our accents. I practiced in the car on the way over today because tomorrow
Did you,
we have a
darling?
big show planned,
Oh, darling, we do.
and we're going to start out British, and then we're going to be trannies.
Yeah,
Gonna
are we?
transition-
Oh, how what
to
lovely
Americans.
news.
I'll just wait.
It is going to be such fun. This is like the election show on steroids. Okay, because we're going to be speaking with a vast knowledge of British history. And are we going to have,
I don't know
We're gonna
much
tell
about
them what-
British history.
are we going to have
Okay.
any costumes?
Yeah,
or
we're going to
any-
have costume changes tomorrow.
It's really not important. Everything pre 1776 really didn't matter. Just kidding.
And
Besides
Henry VIII
Jesus.
had
I
a
mean,
bunch of wives.
Had a little 0 to 33 AD was crucial, but then everything other than that, who really?
They used to be people, they used to be a warring, vicious people. And then they settled down and now they've been overwhelmed with
Who's they?
Muslims, the Brits.
The Brits ruled the
Oh.
world.
They were
I think we're.
everything.
I think we are the actual Brits. I think when we declared independence, we are now the Brits.
We took the spirit and we said, it's ours now.
Yeah,
We're
so
next.
All the awesome ones came over.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a
Exactly
reason
what
why.
losers.
There's a reason why most of the world speaks English. It's because they were just the best. But now
Although
look at them.
I am going to have to just all day drive my family crazy and speak in British, but I think I'd like to have an aristocratic accent.
I don't know how to do that.
But I don't think if at the time, I don't really know if I would have been accepted, but I will pretend that I was.
Mine just ends up sounding Russian.
Okay.
It's going to be a
darling.
long day. I will say we're having Kenneth Pascal on, who is the head of the Alabama 250 celebrations. See, it's already falling apart.
That was great.
No, what is he, JP?
He's important.
He's the head of the committee for
Yeah, he's
Alabama.
the chair of the Alabama 250 celebrate. It's the 250 something.
So he's going to tell us
all about it.
He's
Yeah.
been making the rounds. I've seen him on Facebook with his 250 polo, making the rounds at events to help.
Yeah.
State representative.
bring up the
Kenneth
morale.
Pascal.
Have y'all heard that the booth at the Great American Fair of Alabama is really lame?
Yes, I have. And I'm not proud of that.
Although the best part, there is a life-size, which is little, standing cutout of Kay Ivey in it.
Stop.
No way.
It's really cute. She's in her red suit.
So
Yeah.
do we need to
Can you
fly
see
up
if
there
you
and
find it?
handle it?
I don't know. Somebody didn't really take the time. I feel like Alabama could have been really awesome.
Guys, listen, next time we have a thing, would you please just let us know? We'll handle it.
Time out. I hope Kenneth isn't in charge of that.
He's not in charge of that.
Is that
He's
what
in
we
charge
got?
of the
That's
state.
a DC thing.
Yeah.
Well,
We do have a DC friend,
That-
and maybe we can ask her to go fluff it up.
they should have put football helmets. They should have put sweet tea. They should have put moon pies. Like
Had
there's a lot. they
free
should have put.
Milos for everybody.
Yeah. And then
Dreamland.
and then KIV, and then maybe like a press button to burp on the KIV cutout.
Right now, they're regretting that they didn't ask you, JP.
I'm just
At
saying.
least we weren't North Carolina. Did you hear what North Carolina did?
They didn't even do a thing, did they?
Oh, they did. It had a Confederate flag in it.
Oh, that's sick.
They had to take it down though.
Come
Oh,
on. I mean, we were the first capital of the Confederacy.
we were.
Yeah, we were.
We drove by it last night, or at least that.
Old Cahaba
Yeah.
and Montgomery. Yeah, we did. So, all right, guys, next time, just please ask us. We care. JP, word of the day.
Okay, this one is one that y'all probably will get, but I used it several times yesterday on text with people, and I figured we haven't done this one yet. This word means exciting, excellent, or or intoxicated. Starts with an L.
Lit.
Lit.
I love that word.
That movie was lit,
That party was lit.
but I kind of use it like bet. I think 2 or 3 times yesterday I
Hmm.
responded to somebody with lit, and it's, we haven't done that word yet.
But it's nuanced. It's different than bet. But
It
you can
is.
use it.
Yeah, like oh, thanks, that's lit. You know,
So
lit just
people
means
still
it's good.
use lit. Is it kind of phasing out?
It's not like they used to, but the OGs, like the OG Gen Zers, we still know.
That's
You
that's
still
what we do.
recognize?
Mm.
Okay.
I don't
Yeah.
use it as frequently as I did in middle school, but it's still there. It's still in the lexicon.
Do
You
we
need that hairnet?
do
Yeah.
we use
I
the
do.
word turnt anymore?
No.
Is lit the new turnt?
Lit was the new turnt, yes.
Okay.
What about
And
crunk?
I was about to say, and it was the new crunk.
I remember crunk from way back in the day. That may have been. I wonder what the first Gen Z word was that y'all invented when you were about 8,
I could
because
tell
they
you,
already spoke differently when they were like. Do you remember your
What would
kids?
it be? I mean,
lit was one of them.
yeah.
Trying to think of dank was one.
Oh yeah,
Wesley
Wesley loved that word.
I don't know if this counts as a word, but the dab.
Yeah.
I found a picture of me and my sister on my grandfather's computer taking a picture of us literally just dabbing. I found that on my phone.
Well,
the
so
other
isn't
day.
cute.
that like isn't that actually a druggy thing?
Maybe, who cares?
Yeah, like
I don't think anybody knows the real meaning.
Oh my word!
yeah. And I wasn't smelling my armpit.
I am today years old learning that.
Yeah, like a little.
You know what?
I
All
don't
you
know
need
why I
is
think
a-
of Cam
of
Newton.
us.
Because he did the dab like crazy.
But did he do the stuff that goes with the dab?
I'm pretty
so.
sure
Okay.
if you
Maybe. I don't know.
All right.
Now you know.
Now you
And
know.
knowing is half the battle.
Okay. Friends, guess what time it is now?
What time is it?
It's time for Yammer.
It is time for Yammer. Lost it a little bit. Lost it a little. The first one had nothing.
That's cute. Do you want me to tell you what Polymarket and the CDC are reporting?
Yes, please.
20 states are dealing with this. A parasite that causes explosive diarrhea is spreading.
Oh, gosh. It's called. Never mind.
That's my story. Watch out. This map tells me it is not in Alabama yet, but it is in Georgia and Florida. So buckle up. Find some Imodium or put Chris Shaver on speed dial. You're about to have Scupsy of the foo-foo.
It's called the Nacho Supreme at Taco Bell.
Ironically, the most cases are in New York.
They deserve
It's
it
what you get.
for voting for Mom Donnie.
Explosive diarrhea.
This made not the B, but I believe it was in Yellowhammer last week, and we didn't take it seriously enough. An Alabama man named Daniel Robbins and his girlfriend Jessica Folds were found dead in the woods, their bodies lying next to each other. But what they discovered is that while he had murdered his girlfriend and was dragging her to the woods, God smote him and he had a heart attack and died.
It's not funny.
I'm sorry for her.
It's just really not funny.
But he died whilst dragging her body into the woods.
You think he had guilt?
Yes. And then God went, he clapped him.
Don't mess. Don't mess.
So we're going to talk about this one in the montage, but I figured we'd cover it in Yammer as to. This is a big story for Alabama. U.S. Supreme Court sides. Did you laugh at me misspeaking?
I just saw her laughing and it started. So go ahead.
Well, the U.S. Supreme Court did side with Alabama states to keep boys out of girls' sports. Saw your nose that Yellowhammer is reporting. In a 6-3 decision written by Justice Brett Kavanaugh. This was a big deal because Alabama was one of these states who were a part of this 27-state brief supporting West Virginia and Idaho. Nathaniel Ledbetter had big comments to say about it, saying it's a major win for fairness in women's athletics. Katie Britt had something to say as well. I don't know. Every time I hear this, like, it is a victory for sure in today's society, but I can't help it every time think how depraved we are if a victory is that, hey, you terrorists, you can't go and play against little Susie on the basketball court. Like, that's a victory, I guess. It is. But I guess every time I think of it, I'm like, the fact that this is a victory in today's society is just insane. And that the Supreme Court had to decide on it. Obviously, like I said, I'm in tune with the current state of the Democratic Party and the socialists and the trannies and all that. So I celebrate it for that reason. But what a sign for just the depravity of our society that, that's a fight.
Took us 3 years in Alabama to pass the What is a Woman bill.
Right.
I was thinking of Susan at this moment.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy, but that's where we are.
Like, what were y'all giggling about?
I don't even know. That was a sobering story.
It was very, and I got it together. I was just thinking about the word smote. It just made me laugh.
It was. It went along with nabob.
Gog and nabob.
What was the word?
Nabob.
Nabob.
A rich or important person, darling. Like the kind from
not smut.
Yeah, Connecticut.
Smote.
Smote. God smote that man Daniel. He smoked him.
Oh gosh, we got to pull it together because Terry Lathan will be with us at 10:40.
Love her.
Do we want to do the montage on the other side, or you want to wait? What you want to do?
Yeah, let's start the montage on the other side.
Okay,
Perfect.
that sounds great. We'll be back.
Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair, and we are joined by Admiral Brian Christine, who is the Assistant Secretary for Health at HHS. And it is a thrill and it is an honor, sir, to have you here. Thank you.
Oh, it's a privilege to be here. It is so fun to have come back home to sweet home, Alabama. to come see my family and to do this, to work with y'all, to do this podcast, to help get the messaging out that we need to, so the American people know the good things that we're doing in Washington, the good things that Secretary Kennedy and President Trump are doing. And so as we start off, I have to give a shout out, obviously, to our president and to Secretary Kennedy, because they are working so hard to make this country healthier than she's ever been, to make Americans stronger than we've ever been, to make America great again. So thanks for the opportunity.
So before we jump into those values issues and talking about making our country healthy again, which is such a relief, could you tell those who may not know you or have heard about you, because you are a legend, a little bit about your background?
Sure.
As we jump in.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was born, my father was in the Army. I was born in what used to be West Germany. Now, if you're old enough like me, you remember that one time there was an East and a West Germany during the Cold War. My father was a tanker. In other words, he was in armor in the Army, tanks. And we had a lot of armor assets deployed along the East-West border during that time. I was born in 1963, at really the height of the Cold War. So I was born in West Germany. My father ultimately went Special Forces. In his second tour of Vietnam, he was really severely injured, lost an arm and a leg, got out of the military. We ultimately settled in Augusta, Georgia, had some family there. I went to medical school at Emory in Atlanta, and then I came over to UAB for my residency. And that's how I got to Birmingham. I did my residency in urologic surgery, completed my residency, and then I joined a urology group here in Birmingham. And I practiced with that group for 24, 25 years, really subspecializing in men's health. That was kind of my gig. Then I got the call for the nomination to be the Assistant Secretary for Health from President Trump. Went through the confirmation process. Ultimately was confirmed by the Senate. I was confirmed into this position last November, and here you are. So now I'm in Washington as the Assistant Secretary for Health.
Were you expecting that call? I mean, how does this happen?
Yeah,
you're just like
that's a great
Brian
question.
Christine in Birmingham, Alabama, and you get a call that you're the next Rachel Levine. What's her boy name?
Richard.
Richard Levine. Richard Levine.
You're
That's
Richard.
exactly right.
Yeah.
Yes, I am President Trump upgrade from Richard Levine.
We would say
there
so.
you
We're
go.
very grateful
Yes,
for you.
Yeah, exactly. And I really think, listen, I think one of the reasons that President Trump nominated me and that Secretary Kennedy wanted me in the position is because I practiced medicine on the front lines. I was kind of a Main Street doctor. And I think they liked the idea of having someone who really understood medical care and delivery from a Main Street level. I think personally, I think also one of the reasons that President Trump wanted me in this position, because there's really not another visual that shows the difference between the horrible Biden administration and the really righteous and good Trump administration, and the fact that you have me in the same position as Levine. I'm a man who wears men's clothing, and that really says all you need to know about the last administration and this administration. For sure.
I always thought he could have done a better job, like zhuzhing it up a little bit. Like it was like he put on some earrings and a dress, and that was it. Like, but we can work a little harder. But I think America, the juxtaposition is overwhelming from what y'all are doing versus what he was doing.
Well, no, exactly. When you look at Levine, I mean, again, his agenda was, no question about it, the transgender and minors agenda was so important for him. All he wanted to do was to tell little boys they could be little girls, little girls they could be little boys, and then recommend castrating surgeries, castrating chemicals, hormones, and do irreversible harm to these kids. So if you go back and look at what he talked about, mostly that was it. I mean, Levine advocated for removing any kind of age restriction on transgender treatment in kids. He advocated for those sex-rejecting surgeries. That's what we call them. People say transgender surgery. No, in this administration, we talk about sex-rejecting surgeries and procedures because that's what they are. And that was his big focus, right? I personally believe he was in that position as a statement. I personally believe he was in that position to be an eyepiece, not because he really cared about the health of the country. So I'm really happy to be in this position to be able to reverse and to right so many of the wrongs that the last administration and Levine, perpetrated on the country.
So in this position, you're able to do a lot of good. Could you talk to us about your roles and responsibilities?
Sure. As the Assistant Secretary for Health, you have kind of a three-level role. One is to help form healthcare policy, to work across the different divisions of the Department of Health and Human Services, to work with the CDC and NIH and FDA, and work with HHS leadership to help form healthcare policy. So we help form the policy. We help implement that policy. There's also a communication role, which really appeals to me, in that we help to communicate the policy to healthcare establishments, healthcare providers, and to the country at large. Okay. The Surgeon General falls under the Assistant Secretary for Health. So when we have our new Surgeon General in, and I'm happy to say that Dr. Casey Means will be having her hearing before the Senate on the 25th of this month, I believe. She'll be an amazing Surgeon General. We're going to work so well together. But together we'll be advancing the message of the Department of Health and Human Services and President Trump to the American people. So there's that communication aspect to the role. And then also, the Assistant Secretary for Health can serve as a civilian, or they can do as I did, which is request commission from the president. So I have been commissioned as the senior admiral at the Public Health Service, specifically the Commission Corps. So you have the U.S. Public Health Service, and then you have something called the Commission Corps, and these are commissioned officers. I'm a 4-star admiral. I lead the Commission Corps, and so one of the other roles I have is as a flag officer, an admiral, is to lead the Commission Corps of the Public Health Service. And that's about 5,400 doctors, nurses, pharmacists, therapists. Believe it or not, we've got a few veterinarians in there as well, dentists, dermatologists. We are Secretary Kennedy's tip of the spear strike force for public health initiatives. And it's really a privilege to wear this uniform. It's a privilege to receive the salutes that I receive from other members of other uniformed services and my own officers.
Welcome back to The Right Side. I'm Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair and JP. We are so excited to talk to Terry Latham about the AEA, education, she is such an expert in this area. And so we would love to welcome Terry to the show right now.
Oh, thank you, girls. By the way, two of my favorite, not just ladies and friends, but I really appreciate your truth warriors. And I think truth is very valuable all the time, no matter what the topic is. So thank you for doing all that y'all do. I love you.
Funny. I was sitting on the edge of my seat waiting to see who she likes so much.
You. I've known Amy Beth a lot longer, but Allison, you have stepped up, and just thank you for being truth people. Love it.
Very kind. Thank you.
Well, look,
Truth.
the truth hurts, but we have to stick together and keep talking about it and telling it. And that's one of the reasons why we're so glad to have you with us today. Also, I love your red for Independence Day.
I almost put my USA soccer jersey on. I've gotten caught up in the fever. I could really care less about soccer, but watching in the United States, all the people from across the world that are there, and they're so excited. And it reminds me, and should all of us, don't take anything for granted. Even the Waffle House.
100%.
Take nothing for granted. So thank you. I'm sporting my red.
Well, love it. So let's just jump right in and talk about the AEA. We know that they're the Alabama Education Association. We know that they started out just carrying insurance, liability insurance for teachers. It's grown into so much more. Could you take us through some of the issues as of late with them?
I can, if you will allow me to do just a very short history lesson, because I think that's important, where we've been and why we're here and why we're all still pulling our hair out over some of this. So when the Republicans took over the legislature in 2010, the first thing they did, and it was a promise they made and they kept, in 2011, which it was to stop AEA dues from being taken out of their checks. We're like the government was the middleman, because the Democratic Party and the AEA, all those decades, were one and the same. They were one and the same. They were, attached at the hip. There's no other way to say it. So the party took a stance and said, you know what? We see you, and this is wrong. Alabama, what that meant, everybody, is Alabama taxpayers our tax dollars were taking union dues, using our administration, using our employees, using our government time to take the money out in the teachers union and then send it to them. We were like their secretaries, their admin, and we were all paying for it. First thing we did was stop that. So if you want to join the union, fabulous. Do it on your own time. Do it on your own money. Go online and join. That's what we did. Now, it has come to my attention, and I'm not going to let this one go, and I think we're going to have a conversation maybe in the party about it, that while the law was made to stop AEA deductions, which basically just stopped that nonsense for a while, is it didn't say to stop NEA deductions. And if that is true, and that has been happening, that's going to be our next target. So that's a little history. We stopped it, but they got less relevant because the Republicans took over. So I think that's really important to say, why is the Republican Party so egregious, after the teachers union? First of all, teachers are fabulous. I was a former public school teacher. The hearts in those classrooms, the bus drivers, the cafeteria, the principals, the love I've seen and the love they have, so many of them. This is not about teachers. This is about a union, and it's very important to understand the difference in the two. A lot of teachers, I say teachers, but employees in the public schools feel like they have to join the union for protection. It kind of sounds mobbish. You have to, the garbage people in the Sopranos, and you have to pay us to protect us, kind of thing. Not really. I would advise that anyone in the public school system in the state of Alabama, check with your county or your city schools. Good chance you already have protection. Good chance you already have insurance. In Mobile County, when I was a teacher, it was automatic. I didn't have to pay the union to be my insurer.
Was it through the county?
Yes, it was through the county. Now, if Mobile County is the largest public school system right now, still is in the state, whether they do that now, I don't know. But when I was a teacher, I was told that, and I never joined the union. So I'm at least going to practice what I preached. I did not join union because all the dues money went to who? Democrats. The people that I believe were the wrong policy to start with. So I never did. But many of my Republican, to this day, actually, friends say, well, I feel like I need to join. I don't want to. Well, I'm not so sure you have to. So I would advise everyone to just check if you're automatically covered. But that's just sort of a little history of the background. But it got very political. Now, the state party right now has a bylaw. It got so bad, we passed a bylaw that said the state party cannot and will not take any money from the AEA or the NEA or any affiliate. It does not mean candidates can't take it. And that's been a real contention. When you get somebody been there on the floor, Allison, you're coming in the door as a new member. But we actually had a vote on this. Should elected officials be allowed to take AEA money? And it did not pass. It did not get and a lot of people were like, well, we need to let each candidate, each elected official do what they need to do. And if they vote a certain way, well, maybe they owe us an explanation. And so it did not pass. So we're letting everybody kind of write their own story on that. So what's happened is the AEA, we're in charge, Republicans in charge. Well, AEA is giving the Republicans more money than they ever have. They're kind of going with the wind. I get that. I get that. Listen, that's their job. Their job is to take the funds from their members and do what they believe is the right for teachers and bus drivers and janitors. Okay, I'll give you that. That's their job. But nowhere in there do I hear anything about students. Nothing. I don't hear anything about it. I mean, that's kind of a side note, I guess, but kids and all that kind of stuff. But that's what the dues are for. Now, we have a interesting fact. We're going to go to school here, ladies, for a minute. I am a former math teacher. We're going to go to school, get your pencils out. No, you don't have to. That's okay.
I'm ready.
I've already done it. This is an easy one. All the screaming and yelling and come to Jesus about we can't have the Choose Act. We can't have parental school choice. We cannot take any dollars out of the school system, the education budget. Here's the numbers. We talked about truth a minute ago. In the 2027 education budget coming up, about 98% is for education budget. 2%, this is an average, okay, just a rounding. 2% is the CHOOSE Act. 2, 1, 2. That's it. Not 5, not 10, not 20, 2. And that's what all the screeching and yelling and pulling hair out with the AEA has been about. Now, one of the things that again, I know that's their job and you're supposed to do it, but it doesn't mean that we have to, with taxpayer dollars, applaud you. One of the things I've been very concerned about, I witnessed this with my own eyes, rooms full of witnesses with their own eyes, that the AEA showed up to stop the parental school choice bill, the CHOOSE Act. They did for the Price Act, they showed up for the CHOOSE Act. Then they turn around in the Alabama Federation of Republican Women had their governmental liaison lady there, I think it's Dr. King, and she said, we've been for school choice. Those two things do not match. They're not going to match. So you're telling different sets of people, audiences, what they want to hear. And eventually that means you're not telling the truth of half of them. That's what that means. Then they went back and said, well, they came back to the CHOOSE Act in the same committee meetings and said, no, you can't do this. No, this is horrible. You're taking money out. Let me tell you what, y'all, coming up 2027 is the largest, my numbers show $10.5 billion. The largest in the history. There are no children, unless there are county schools, and they have some struggles, if it's a poor school system with the money that the counties give them. But it's the state dollars. Teachers are getting raises. We have just added 64 more, brand new. The governor announced 64 more preschool classes, which is fabulous for the littles that need extra help to build on the foundation. We have computer technology, you name it. They're using that, I think, very often more in textbooks these days. So our children in our classrooms are getting what they need, basically. Are there some places we need to fix? Yes. Are there some extra things we could do? Sure. But you can't tell me $10.5 billion budget and the CHOOSE Act is 2% of that. That's 2 pennies out of every dollar, folks. 2 pennies out of every dollar. And that's what all the screaming and yelling is about. And no one's talking about that number. So I'll be glad to talk about that number. Government schools should not and do not have permission in my world to say with our taxpayer dollars, because see, that gives you a seat at the table, right? You're the taxpayer.
Yeah.
Taxpayer. I'm the taxpayer. Everyone listen to the taxpayer. Then we get a seat at the table. And they, in my world, I reject and do not have permission to tell us, just give us your money and we know what we're doing. And parents, you need to stay out of this. We got this.
I think it's wild.
That's not real.
This lawsuit that, what's her name? Alvarez?
Andrea Alvarez.
Andrea Alvarez from Huntsville area is suing the state, saying the CHOOSE Act is illegal. In what world can you say, it's exactly what you're saying, Terry, the government has no money except what we, the taxpayer, we, the citizen, give them? In what world can you say it's not okay for the government to give us back our money to do with it what we want? And in the meantime, the public schools really, and I've almost looked at it, not that they're getting a raise, but their state funding, they don't have to. Okay, so when somebody decides to implement the CHOOSE Act and send their children to other places besides public school, well, that school's still getting their city, their county, those taxes that come in.
And federal dollars, too.
And federal dollars.
Yeah.
But they don't have to supply the books and the overhead and the meals and all that for the kids.
Yeah.
In some ways, I'm like, y'all are getting raises.
Yeah, it's a good point. Oh, that's
there you go. So you're exactly right. It was one of the things we talked to our legislators about. If you have a handful of students, let's say you have a school of 1,000 students, and let's say 50 decide to use the CHOOSE Act and their parents want to put them in another facility for whatever by the way, it doesn't matter. It's what the parents decide. We're not the why are you doing this, police? It's what the parents decide to do. That's 50 less students you need. Supplies, food, buses, teachers, whatever.
Right.
So there's a supply and demand there. And what that causes, y'all, is competition. Because right now we don't have competition. It's here's your choice, public school, or if you can pay for something else, then you can go do that. And all the
Is that what they're scared of? Are they scared of actually having to step up and maybe do hard things?
You know, I'm not sure if that's applicable to the whole Department of Education. I have good friends there. I have people who I know love doing and are trying hard. Now, let's just also, you know, address the elephant in the room here, per se, pun intended. Sometimes there's things out of your hands that go on outside of schools. I mean, when I was teaching in the public school, you know, I had 8 to 3. And there were students that came to me that I did everything I could, or I understood what they needed, or I tried, you know, you got only finite time, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that there were some that weren't going to make it. I mean, their home lives were just miserable. I had to once turn into the Department of Health. A little girl came to school in 5th grade with a cigarette burn on her forehead. She does not care about multiplying fractions or how to conjugate a verb. You know, that's just life for some of them. So teachers in the classroom deal with a lot. But as far as the CHOOSE Act goes, this is about taxpayer dollars with parents who know their children more than anybody in the world. And nobody has permission to say they know what's best for them, but their parents in my world, in my view. So I'm not so sure that it's that they're scared of competition or doing things. There could be some systems that are. There could be. Because there hasn't been any competition. There's been zero competition until kind of now. Now, what's really interesting for everyone to understand, there has not been an exodus of the public school system. Most students are staying, guess where they're staying? In their schools. You know why? They love their teachers. They love their friends. They love their sports programs. They love their musical programs or whatever it is. And they don't have to move, nor should they. But if you have some that need to, and I have had people reach out for me across the state, some folks that y'all even know, and say, thank God I can move my child. I needed to, but I couldn't afford to. And the beauty is it's not free money, it's their money.
Right.
They've been paying it, all of us, we've been paying into the system for decades and decades and decades. Why can't a family say, I need to do something different with my child? And that's what the CHOOSE Act did. So thank goodness for Governor Ivey, which in my eyes is the premier legacy that she has done in education, and the Republican legislators who decided we can do this. We can do this. In fact, it's so popular. The CHOOSE Act is so popular, they're having to add more money into it. And I'm sure the AEA and just had a heart attack for saying that, but how are you going to roll that back? You're going to take away something very, very popular of parents and families and people? I don't think so. So we're here to stay. We're not budging on this one.
That's so good to know. So as we wrap up, any key takeaways for us to consider?
Oh, you know what? Let me roll back on something. I'm sorry. I didn't, you mentioned Allison, the Huntsville. There's a outgoing Huntsville school board. I got off track for just a minute. That so you can sue anybody for anything. But I think what she's missing here is the money doesn't go into the education fund, is my understanding. When you write, everybody here, listening, watching, when we write our taxes to the state of Alabama, what does the check say? State of Alabama. It doesn't say Department of Education or Education Trust Fund. It goes into one big state of Alabama, and then they divvy up between the two budgets. So that's where the CHOOSE Act tax fund is coming from. So if her premise is we're taking out the education budget and you can't do that, you know, she's probably not going to be successful. They're probably going to keep trying every way they can, but I feel like we're in a really good shape.
Yep. Good.
Very good.
There's so many states that are doing this. I can't imagine that there's an issue there. She just needs something to complain about.
She does.
And she's losing control.
Oh my word. It's just,
and she can't handle it.
no.
Well, you know, I understand she's fundraising send me money for this. So I'm always leery about that sort of thing. Someone say, hey, send me money, go fund me or whatever. I don't know, maybe okay. But then it sounds like she's it sounds like a shaky suit to me.
Yeah,
So,
I
absolutely.
guess it'll be interesting to watch. But Terry Latham, thank you so much for joining us. You're always so knowledgeable, and you, especially on the school, starting Rome and all you did, I knew you would have a lot to say, and we appreciate your insight for sure.
well, thank you for bringing it to the attention. Just because it's passed, you got to keep. It's like a garden.
You're right.
You got to tend to it. You got to tend to your state and your country. We're just not there. You got to pull weeds and water it and sunshine it, and sometimes put manure on it if you need to.
That's the magic.
Yeah, it
That's
is.
fantastic. So thank you for the opportunity, and you ladies keep being the truth warriors that you are, no matter what the subject is.
Well, thank you.
you.
Keep us posted. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye.
She just, I appreciate, I guess because I'm kind of new. You've been around longer too. JP's newer in all this than me, but when you can put the pieces together from the kind of the beginning, because I lived here in Alabama in 2010, but I just wasn't involved in politics. I thought I'd set that aside after I started having kids. And so I don't remember the transformation of, coming from Democrat state to Republican. But when you can put it all together and see the whole picture, it is invaluable.
It really is. And I'm still shocked and have to go back to this idea that when you go to your local school system, teachers, y'all check and see if you already have liability insurance that you don't even have to join the AEA for. That is news to me, along with the encouragement about the SAVE Act, the 2% of the budget, not 99% of the budget, 2% of the budget, also a key takeaway. And then beyond that, we've got to tend the garden. And I think that's part of our problem as conservatives or as Republicans is we think once we've done something, it's done. Instead of we've got to go pull the weeds.
That's a good word. Really
So.
good word. I wanted to ask her to kind of we'll have to have her back on because she was just appointed to the Charter School Commission.
Oh, yes.
And that would be good to get, especially with the Magic City Acceptance Academy stuff.
Oh, could we talk about that next time?
Yeah, we'll have her back on for that.
I love you, Terry. Terry.
I love you, Terry. Terry. Back it up, Terry.
So, JP, I'm pretty sure we have no time for the montage.
We got about 20 seconds left for the break.
Oh.
No time for the montage.
Well,
but you know what? When we come back,
what do you want to talk about?
We will. Tomorrow.
Okay, 10 more seconds.
Okay, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Everybody get ready.
Then what?
Well, you need to have your favorite founding father.
Easy.
And if they have a quote, and I'm sure they do, get that ready because we're going to sound off online about those. And we're going to share our favorite founding fathers, perhaps while we're in a costume.
We are going to have story time tomorrow. I'm excited about that.
This is going to be awesome.
We're going to learn you something. I'm learning a lot too. Do we have any texts or calls or
We got some
wait, we don't have
texts.
calls. Do we still have a number?
Technically not for long.
Just
Good
text
save.
us.
Good save, JP.
We'll read them. We'll do that on the other side too. We'll be back.
Uniform is a privilege, but that's a big part of what I do is to lead the Commission Corps because we really are the edge of the knife, the tip of the spear for public health in the United States. And I have officers deployed other parts of the world as well, primarily in the U.S. We work at Guantanamo Bay, for instance. We work with ICE agencies. We work with DHS. We supply doctors and nurses to the Indian Health Service, which is a big role. We have officers that work at FDA, work at CDC. They're out in community health centers. So we're all over the place, but that's part of my role as well.
Wow.
That's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people.
I had no idea.
It's a lot of people. And these officers, these are good men and women. These are good men and women who want to serve, who care about this country. And one of the things I have been told by officer after officer is they said, we are so happy that we have a new Assistant Secretary for Health. We're demoralized by our prior Assistant Secretary because we knew he didn't really care about us. He put the uniform on as a political stunt. Brian, you wear the uniform because you care about the country and you want to serve the president and the secretary.
So going into this role, like you're just kind of starting. If now, and hopefully we'll do an interview as you're leaving and we can reassess, but give us your top 3. Like, these are the things that I definitely want to get done while I'm here. What would those be?
Yeah, and so my agenda is, of course, Secretary Kennedy's agenda and the president's agenda. We all work for the president. He's the commander-in-chief. I work with Secretary Kennedy as we both serve the president and serve the people. And so the things that are really important to us at the Department of Health and Human Services, we know that affordability of health care, affordability of drugs, making sure we have good health care delivered to everybody, whether it be in a city or in these rural environments, that is something incredibly important to the president and the secretary and myself. Also, we have our values issues. In other words, and we can talk about this, right to life issues, respect for the dignity of every man, woman, and child in this country. That's incredibly important to us. Taking care of men, taking care of women, that's important. So affordability, these values issues, and doing everything so different from the last administration and the last Department of Health and Human Services. We absolutely are guided by science. That's something that Secretary Kennedy has said again and again. We are guided by gold standard science, and we use that science to form policy and to do things that are going to make America healthier than she's ever been.
Okay, but Dr. Fauci says he is science. So are we Dr. Fauci science, or are we, like,
No.
how do you?
Are we science?
We are science. We are science. Listen, people can think what they want about Dr. Fauci. I prefer not to think about Dr. Fauci. I don't have much regard or respect for that individual. But who I do have regard and respect for are RFK, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Jay Bhattacharya, Dr. Bhattacharya, who was so incredibly strong during the COVID pandemic. He leads the NIH, the National Institutes of Health. I have respect for Dr. Oz, Mehmet Oz, who heads up CMS, Medicare and Medicaid. He is amazingly brilliant, amazingly committed to this country. We have Marty McCary, who is out at FDA. Marty also cares deeply. We don't have a CDC director right now. The interim director is a man named Jim O'Neill. Jim is also the deputy secretary at HHS, incredibly smart, incredibly strong, committed to life, committed to science. So those are the people I think about. I don't worry about Anthony Fauci. I don't want to think about Anthony Fauci. He did enough harm to this country. Yeah. I think about President Trump and our team now at HHS because we're doing amazing things.
You clearly are. So could we jump in then to those values issues that you've mentioned? Top of the list, right to life.
Yes.
And underneath that would be people's concern about mifepristone.
Sure.
Could you talk to us about that a little bit?
Yeah, I think, I'm 62 years old, turned 62 in December. This is the most pro-life administration that I've ever seen in my 6 decades plus of life. There's no question about it. The most pro-life administration that I've ever seen. I think the administration that is friendliest to religion and faith that I've ever seen. And President Trump has demonstrated that again and again. We stand for life. We stand for the fact that we know that life begins at conception. We respect life until life's natural end. We respect the dignity of the person. We want to make sure that we stand with individuals who believe those same things, and we do. The recent March for Life, you saw that Vice President Vance address the country. The next day, there was a breakfast that was basically for all of the youth, the young men and women who'd come into this country come into the city from across the country. There was a breakfast that morning. Jim O'Neill, the deputy secretary, and myself, we addressed those students, and there were over 2,000 people there. And we talked about the fact, what we're doing for life, the fact that we know little boys are little boys and little girls are little girls, the fact that we know life begins at conception, the fact that we are doing things like, for instance, through my office, the Office of the Assistant Secretary for Health, we administer the Title X funds. So let me tell you, so just recently, because of our oversight, directed by Secretary Kennedy, our oversight over Title X funds, $2.3 million of grants that had been given before us had to be returned by Planned Parenthood. $2.3 million that will no longer go to killing children. $2.3 million that will no longer go to lying to women.
Welcome back to the Right Side. Exciting news. Well, first of all, I'm Allison Sinclair. Amy Beth is working hard on something that I'm about to tell you about, and JP is pushing buttons. But Amy Beth, today will be the official launch of our new newsletter, our weekly newsletter called the Rightside Weekly.
How about that?
How about that? Cash me outside. I don't know why I sound Asian every time I do that.
Cash me outside.
Cash me outside.
How about that?
In the newsletter, we are going to tell you all our guests for the week. We are going to post some of our favorite segments. We're going to give you some of the deep dives, our plunges into certain topics, JP's op-eds. It's just going to be a cornucopia of information. And we are excited about it. So if you need to, go to our website, rightsidemedia.org. It's an awesome website. It looks so good. It matches our sign.
It's beautiful.
It is bussin'.
No cap.
It's rad. We would have said that.
This is so fun. We're like live on the air doing this.
And you can subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss out, because we might make fun of you, call you a loser.
Yes, seriously, go subscribe.
Just kidding. We won't know.
All
But
right.
you don't want to miss out.
Everybody give
Are
me a
you
thumbs
hitting?
up.
Are you hitting it?
I just had to preview it one more time, guys.
Someone has
And
to say it.
next
Oh, review again.
review. I just reviewed. I've
Okay.
been reviewing.
Do you want to
Review?
turn on what are the likes and comments?
We don't necessarily want likes and comments. Do we?
Everybody loves us. Okay, go to
Are you
review.
want me to do likes and comments? Yeah, because we do want disabled. Never mind.
Okay,
Review. All right.
schedule,
Schedule. And you ready?
publish now.
Okay, ready?
You want me to see if it?
Yeah.
Everybody get your phones. Check your email. Do it.
Okay. Done.
Yes.
Woo! Okay.
Wait, did you get that this morning? Did you get the? Thank you, JP. Thank you. Did you
Publish.
get the published successfully this morning?
As I look back, no. No, I did not.
Abs? Did a chicken get you? What happened this morning?
Okay.
Well, we're gonna wait for it to come through. Until then, did you say we had some text?
This is so exciting.
It is.
We got some text. We want to get to the montage first.
I'm clicking it all out and ta-da. Yes.
Okay.
All right.
What is it? Montage time?
You're the producer.
Was that my cue?
Yes.
It
Well,
is.
I'm normally used to like, and now it's time for
Okay,
the
fine.
montage.
Let's talk to one.
I unfortunately fear that's the direction the Democrats are headed, and it is communism, Laura. It really is something we haven't seen in the United States of America in the history of our politics. And Laura, I think that it actually is a consequence of the fact that the Democrat Party has become run by the universities and by the professors.
We need to, really buckle down on birth tourism. We have many investigations on birth tourism, but we need to quadruple down on that. And look, I agree with Judge Alito. First of all, I've been doing this since 1984. That's when I started in Border Patrol. Birthright citizenship has always been a major driver for illegal migration.
I feel absolutely vindicated. I think especially elite female athlete, a professional female athlete, the likes of Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham, et cetera, Serena Williams to link arms, because this is a really big decision that has lasting impact.
This guy who was arrested was allegedly one of the orchestrators of the massive Feeding Our Futures fraud scheme. And when Minnesota lawmakers investigating the fraud requested Congresswoman Omar to turn those records related to her office's contacts with individuals who've been charged or convicted in the scheme, she refused.
I understand that you're here for a reason. I don't understand why it's only the Republican side that cares about our American children. And I know that you're a mother. I know that you're a father. I deeply value that. But basically what you just did, what you said was, I'm so sorry for your loss. I have a daughter too. I have a son. I feel your pain. You don't. You don't feel my pain. Because the next words out of your mouth were, but. There's no but.
Her child was murdered by an illegal immigrant. And the very, and I can say this with confidence, wretched elected official Jaya Powell was awful in that interview. It took a lot of courage for Mrs. Gorman to get up and speak. But basically, she continued to say not only was her child murdered by illegal immigrants, but that those officials that she was speaking to love the illegals more than Americans and their children.
Do we have that whole clip?
I can find it.
Can we play it? Because that's the problem. That is the heart, not just when it comes to murder or the loss of life, but when it comes to free grocery stores, free transportation, rent freeze. We hate religion. That is the problem right there.
Are you looking for the whole clip with her back and forth with the representative, or the whole clip of her statement?
The back and forth. I
Okay,
want to
I'll
hear
go
how
find it.
wretched Jayapal is, because I think that's very sobering. I don't know. I didn't see any of that on social media, so y'all obviously picked up on it, but I'm guessing
What?
it came through.
It worked. Yes. I'm so excited. We did it. Wow. Okay. We did it.
Anyway.
Sorry, you guys. It's been a
Back.
process. We'll get better. I'm usually going to send it out on Tuesday morning. Learning curve. Happy to be writing again. We're so happy we're getting this out. And so thank you for all of you who subscribed, by the way. We're going back to Mrs. Gorman, but thank you for sticking with us. More to come. Good things ahead. But yes.
Sorry, had to have a moment for that.
So,
But I do want to see because she is just generally a miserable person, as most of the left is. And I want to hear what, into the face of a grieving mother, how bad can you be?
So this was the main clip I'm seeing on social media, and I guess this clip is all you really need to see.
Fortunately, this hearing is, it's the fourth time in this committee that we've had a hearing on sanctuary cities, the fourth time. And there's many other things that we could be doing other than this.
Okay. You're not worth the time.
and unfortunately, like, what else are you supposed to be doing but defending your citizens and looking out for them and protecting them? Like, what else are you supposed to do?
That's actually a great conversation that I think we need to answer. What is the role of the American government? What is the role of the federal government?
And so we shall discuss. What is it? Is it to leave people, first of all, to trust that we believe the beginning of the Declaration of Independence, that we want to be free to pursue life, liberty, and happiness, which means doing it on your own without government intervention? Are you a centralized government person and you think government is God, and so all of your rights come from Father Government? Or do all of our rights come from Father God? Because one makes you significantly more free. And then should you not look out for the safety and protection of your citizens, which means we have borders and boundaries. And that means we keep everybody else out. But that's just me.
Here's a bit of a longer of the mother responding directly to Jayapal too.
Fortunately, it's the fourth time in this committee that we've had a hearing on sanctuary cities. There's many other things that we could be doing other than this. Get so upset when with your butts, and you don't want to talk about this. This is the fourth hearing. Do you know what I'm thankful for? And this is so messed up. I'm going to say I'm thankful after hearing. I didn't even know what an angel family was. Had no idea. Never even heard about it. There's so many out here. You know what I'm thankful for? I'm thankful that my daughter was just shot in the back of the head, not raped, murdered, dismembered, put in a garbage can like Megan Boss with bleach poured on her, and they didn't fight her for 50 days. And you can actually dismiss the angel families. You can say, but you don't want to hear four sessions on angel families. I'm sorry, you need to. You need to. I'm actually thankful that my daughter wasn't raped. How messed up is that? That I'm thankful every day that she was just murdered, not raped and dismembered. Like, think about that. Like, how messed up is that? Do you know what I thought of this morning when I got up? What the joy of, anyone have a baby here? The joy of picking out their first outfit that they're gonna wear on their ride home from the hospital. I had to pick out my daughter's last outfit, and she was a fabulous dresser. We had 100 people come to our home. 100 friends and family came to her home. We had her cremated, actually, after. And they all decorated her urn with rhinestones. All of them put it on there. She's fabulous, even in death. But for the first time, all the excitement of having a child and then having people make excuses and buts. I'm sorry. This is unacceptable. There are so many angel families out here. And the day that I have to wake up and be thankful that my daughter was only shot and not raped should tell you something. It's crazy.
What the left is doing is it's evil. It's demonic. It's evil. It's wrong. It's heartless. I don't know. What are the other adjectives for it?
Did you say, well, demonic would also imply godless?
Godless.
I'm sorry, but what else can you be? What else can you be where your sacrament for entry is murdering the children in your womb?
It's a disregard and a lack of sanctity for life altogether, if you get down to it, because kind of like you tie it back to abortion. They don't care about anything other than their selfish desires, and they don't have any remorse or anything for their policies that result in a loss of a life, like with her daughter. They don't care because it's a narcissistic. Because if you don't believe in a higher power and don't believe in God and something bigger than yourself, then you yourself are God, and then the government is God. So it's okay. Well, if I'm God and the government's God, then it's whatever I want to do and whatever best suits me. And that's why democratic socialism is so appealing to them, because it's all me, what I can get from me. But they don't have any sort of, there's no feeling inside of them when they think about the loss of a child, because it's like, okay, yeah, but this is the fourth time we've had to have this hearing. Can we just talk about something better, like how we can give welfare to everybody in the nation or kill more babies? That's what matters to them. But that's what it is. It's a lack of sanctity of life.
So then that also gets back to the question before we saw that heartbreaking clip. Is Allison, what is the purpose of the government?
I think there are actually very, very few, but I would say the first one is to protect its citizens, to protect its people. And that is not happening. We are actually doing the opposite. It goes back to what you were talking about, life, liberty, the pursuit. We should all have the freedom and the ability to do that. And I don't think the founding fathers intended for the federal government to pay for the murdering of children in the womb, to pay for transgender health care, to, even down to, like in Alabama, it always gets me that why are we paying for broadband? I don't think the founding fathers said, yeah, you need internet service. Electricity, I get that. That's kind of like you won't make it. We have lost sight of why we're here and what we're doing, and the heartlessness. Like, I don't know if the Dems, they are so blinded by their hatred and their bitterness for America, for the other side, for Donald Trump, for anything godly. It's like they're almost not human anymore. To be able to sit there and look at that mom and say, basically, I don't have time for you. I get it. You're a congresswoman. You've got things to do. But when you can't even muster up the compassion and the heart to sit and listen to a mother for 20 minutes, you just need to go. Like, just go. And what's sad is that she's not the only one that was sitting there thinking that.
Yeah.
It's true.
To answer your question about what the government's role is, I think it's a great opportunity. We're celebrating in 3 days the most important document in our nation's history, where it started out with certain unalienable rights given by our creator, not by the government. So the job of the government is to preserve your God-given rights, almost like to protect you from the government. The government's job is to protect you from itself, from the government's point of view. That is the job of it, and it's to give you the right to bear arms to protect your certain.
It's what it all goes back to, that same thing.
Yep, unalienable rights given to you by your creator. It's to let you have your hard-earned money that you worked hard with, for the talents that your creator gave. It all boils down to everything you have was given to you by your creator. So the government's job is to protect you from itself, pretty much. And it goes back to the separation of church and state. The separation of church and state was not to get rid of the church. It was to protect the church from the state.
That's right.
Because they viewed the church was so sacred and the most important thing that we're not going to tarnish it with our human-made state. So we're going to keep them separate. But they like to twist it, them being the left, into, well, the separation of church and state means that the church is meaningless. No. It means that the state is nowhere near as important as the church and God. So I think, and I'm going to butcher the quote, I'm going to paraphrase it from John Adams, that our government is only for a religious and moral people. Because if you don't have the foundation that everything comes from the creator, everything comes from God, then the government becomes God. And everything just becomes backwards at that point, because the entire, it doesn't work. Because it's to embody the individual with their faith, not to just have the government be the power and the God, and we just give everything to the people, because then that's, and it's kind of like if you look at the French Revolution versus the American Revolution, the main difference was God. Because there was no faith and there was no church in the French Revolution. It was just, let's just chop off the heads of all the people we can, and we're going to get rid of church, and we're just going to be selfish and lustful and all. Whereas the American Revolution, which is what made it so great, was no, we are fighting tyranny because we know God has more for us, and our God-given rights are being taken from us. And that's where it was a breaking of the chains to go to God, not a breaking of the chains to go to yourself. If that makes sense. So that is the purpose of the government, is to protect the citizens and their God-given rights from the government itself.
And it's either, by the way, that quote is the last quote of the newsletter. Don't know if you knew that.
Wow.
Chris just read it. He said, y'all go subscribe. But you said something, and both of y'all made me think of a few things to just, number one, because you said the government exists to protect the citizens and to provide for the common defense. Providing for a common defense assumes there's something to defend. That's the people. That's it. And so if we want to behave that way, then we will follow God. But that's why the left is desperate to separate us from our knowledge and understanding that this is all rooted and grounded in Him. And also never forget that during the French Revolution, the man who invented the guillotine was ultimately killed by it.
Yeah, it's ironic.
Ironic, no? That they are desperate for atheism, for not only atheism, but utopianism to be a thing. And they're going to create it, and they create it, and you're going to love it so much you may have to die in order for us to get what we want. We may kill you along the way. But the people who are the useful idiots, the apparatchiks in this whole deal, either we follow God or we follow them. Every single one of them will end up in that same spot eventually when they've run out of their usefulness, versus we as a country derive our usefulness and our identity from God. Like, it's a choice. This is a time for choosing. But I never forgot when I learned that story that the guy who created the guillotine and was just happily chopping heads off during the French Revolution ultimately had his chopped off as well.
What did he do?
At some point, they just start rounding up people, and they're like,
"Yep,
kind of like the left is going to
you're
get
next."
its own.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
They're all going.
That's
to
how.
get their heads
And
chopped
so
off.
when these communists act like they don't know how this goes, and no, trust us, this time we're going to do it differently. No, there's never any different. There's always at least between 120 million to 160 million killed by communism. And I forget how many were killed during the French Revolution, but it never ends well.
Mm-hmm.
So please, on this anniversary of America, don't forget that it's really simple what we're here for. Yeah. Really simple.
I do love that JD Vance and Donald Trump are talking about it, and they're just calling it out like it is. I don't know what Trump's plans are for the communists. I hope it comes quickly. But they're finally using the verbiage that we've been using for a while now. They're death cult and they are communists and they are coming for us.
Mm-hmm.
Now, whether we do anything about it, we'll see.
I'll say one more quote because I love quotes. This one is, it's funny, the quote I said earlier was from John Adams. This one is from his son, John Quincy Adams. He said, quote, "The highest, the transcendent glory of the American Revolution was this. It connected in one indissoluble bond the principles of civil government with the precepts of Christianity." Which
it's pretty good.
Nails it all.
Yep.
Yeah, it does.
Right there.
Yeah, it does.
Pretty good.
So, see, this is why we're all here together, because we're not going to go down without a fight. Right?
No, I mean, we're probably going to die,
but it's
anyway.
Okay.
I mean, we're going to die eventually.
I mean, we are, but probably we're look, if we keep going down the path we're going.
Unless things change, and we rather change start with us right now.
Wouldn't you rather die being scrappy and mouthy?
Yes.
Than, yeah.
Being a coward and no, absolutely, immediately no to cowardice.
I saw the clip yesterday again of Clarence Thomas when he was going through everything he went through with his process to become a justice of the Supreme Court. And he said, he was asked by, I think it was actually Dick Durbin, a young Dick Durbin. And he said, "Would you still like to be a Supreme Court justice?" And Clarence Thomas said, "I would rather die than be removed from the process." And he said, "It doesn't matter if I want to be a Supreme Court justice or not. I'd rather die than have them win and have me cower and removed from the process of becoming one." He said, "I don't back down from bullies. I've never liked bullies, and I will not let them win. So regardless about me being a Supreme Court justice, just me letting them win and scare me from being removed from the process, I'd rather die than do that." I think that is it altogether, regardless of the fight itself, because it ultimately is God that can win the battle. We're doing our part, but it is the not being scared to quit the process of doing our part. We'd rather die than stop doing that.
Yep. That's exactly right.
And there's a reason
That's
he's the
mission.
best Supreme Court justice.
I heard that his documentary is great and that we should watch it over the weekend.
Where is said documentary?
Sinclair, you ask a really good question.
I will Google it.
But
JP, typing cat.
JP. But that
hurt.
was such a good question. And maybe we would love to hear from you, your thoughts on what we think. And then what do you think the purpose of the federal government is?
Oh yeah. Do we have any text?
We do. We have some, by the way, you can find it on Amazon Prime Video.
Thank you, JP. Are we going to talk about the books tomorrow?
The books.
The book that you read?
The children love the books. Do you know what movie that's from?
I don't know, but
yes, you
my
do.
books are coming today.
But the children love the book.
Charlie
from Elf.
Oh my
When-
word!
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Allison, I was
sorry.
focused
Sad
more
part of the
on
movie.
Yeah.
the children.
What are we gonna do? Because
We
we've
got
gotta
Hot
do-
Flash News.
We do have hot flash news. You want to do that on the other side, and then we
Yes.
have Dr. Ashley.
Yes.
Yes.
Which honestly, if Dr. Ashley wanted to run past noon, we're not constrained by the FCC.
Mm-mm.
We do what we want.
We do what we
Can't
want.
let me be.
FCC
That was good.
can let me be.
I like that.
Okay, we'll be back.
Because of our oversight, they gave that money back, which is a huge victory. Absolutely. We make sure that we're enforcing the Hyde Amendment. President Trump, Secretary Kennedy, and myself, we are strong for this. No federal dollars are going to go toward abortion or procuring abortion services. We are strong with the Hyde Amendment, and we are making sure the Hyde Amendment is being enforced, unlike the last administration.
Yes.
We have made sure that monies, that when you have youth, children or youths, young girls who are taken in custody coming across the border or something, that federal dollars cannot go to providing abortion services, because that was going on in the last administration. Just totally disregarding the Hyde Amendment. We stand strong. That's no longer happening. So for those right to life issues, we've been incredibly strong about that, and we're very vocal about that. Again, one of the things that impresses me most about Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and he's always been this way, he really realizes that God has given an inherent dignity to every man, woman, and child, and we respect that dignity.
As an adopted person, and I know as an adoptive mother,
Yeah.
we are so thankful for those policies. And as women who've lived through the nonsense, that the lies that have been heaped upon us, that you have to kill your child to have a life.
That's right.
We're very grateful for your stand in that regard.
It's again, all of this is a privilege, but we have to do it for the country. We have to do, and we have to remember too that all of the wins that we have in this administration and this Department of Health and Human Services, it only takes one election cycle for things to reverse. And so we can talk about this more later, but it's incredibly important for us as conservatives, for us as people of faith, to be motivated to vote in November, to get out, support those candidates who stand with President Trump and his agenda. It's going to be more important than it's ever been. I know every election it's like, this is the most important. So I'm not going to use that hyperbole, but this is an incredibly important election in November. So I want all of the people, all of the men and women who watch this podcast, who listen to this podcast, and there are so many, I want them all to know, tell your friends, tell your families, we've got to be out there supporting candidates in congressional districts and Senate races that support the president in November.
You posted recently about gender affirming care, gender dysphoria, and kind of your work, and you just mentioned, right to life. That I would agree that is a life issue. Were you surprised when the American Medical Association came out recently and said that gender affirming care, genital mutilation, all that should be put off till adulthood? And do you think that we're maybe turning a corner on all this?
I think that is I'm so glad you asked that question because, yes, so the American Medical Association is certainly backing away from its prior stance. It was the Academy of Plastic Surgeons. I think that's the right name. The Academy of Plastic Surgeons that said, and this is landmark, they said just this past week that we recommend that we don't do those mutilating surgeries, what we call the sex-rejecting surgeries on anybody under the age of 19. That is huge. That is huge. And I think we are turning this corner. We can never take our foot off the accelerator because I like to say that gender theory is like a vampire. It'll come back. You may think you've killed it, but it'll come back in the next hostile administration. So we always have to keep our foot on the accelerator for this, and we are, and I am, and President Trump certainly is. But yeah, I hope that we've turned a corner. I really do. This really started with, again, science. So we released at HHS, we released something called the Gender Dysphoria Report, and that was back in the fall. We released this report that basically looked at all the science, and we said, no, the wrong way to treat these children is to perform castrating surgeries. The wrong way to treat these children is to use sex-rejecting chemicals and hormones. The right way to treat these children is with compassionate, competent mental health care. Now, personally, as a person of faith, I personally believe that if the child's parents want this, I think pastoral care is incredibly important to support these kids, right? But we initiated that report. The report was released, and then we did something even more. We had what was called the peer review of that report. So we invited scientists, not all of whom were aligned with us, to say, review this report. Tell us what you think. Put your politics aside. Go by the science. And they had to say, you're right. The science backs up exactly what you're saying about this. So I think things like we're seeing with the plastic surgeons, things like hopefully we're going to be seeing more with the AMA, really the shot across the bow was the gender dysphoria report. Because, again, Secretary Kennedy has always said, we use gold standard science to guide our decisions. That's gold standard science. Those kind of things, sex-rejecting surgeries, horrible chemicals and mutilations, that's not the way to treat these kids. I am not going to take my foot off the accelerator on this because, like I said, it is a vampire. If we don't stake it through the heart and if we don't kill this whole gender theory, it's going to come back in the next hostile administration. No question about it. So we're doing great things with that. And that, as far as values, very important to the president, very important to the vice president, very important to Secretary Kennedy and myself.
Can I ask a follow-up question real quick?
Yeah.
Don't forget what you were about to say. Okay. So RFK's ideas, like inverting the food pyramid, are seen as kind of controversial. Some of his suggestions on treatments and things like that. To me, there's more science behind what he's saying than what we've been told for all these years. Yeah. I think now, especially after COVID, we're seeing, wait a second, have we been lied to? You're all changing the vaccine schedule for childhood vaccines is huge. But how do you balance that? And do you see much pushback? Because you're saying gold standard science, but a lot of it, people are like, this is new to them.
Well, science is dynamic. It's
Right.
not static. Science changes over time. I'm a physician. I'm a surgeon. I'm a scientist. The way I do things, and I've closed my practice to be in this job, but the way I did things, for instance, in 2025 when I was still practicing, were very different than I was trained 20 years earlier or even 10 years earlier, because science is dynamic and changes. And that's what Secretary Kennedy has said. What he has said is we always follow the science, but we have to be nimble enough and we have to be honest enough to say that if the science leads us in a different direction than it has in the past, that we are brave enough and we care enough about this country to make those changes. And that's exactly what you're seeing. You mentioned about the vaccines. I mean, let me be very clear about this. And I'm glad you brought this up, Allison, because this is very important. Secretary Kennedy has not taken a vaccine away from anyone. Despite what the lying left will tell you, he has not taken a vaccine away from anyone. Now, what he has said is that we want people to decide what's right for themselves.
Yes.
We want parents to decide what's right for their kids. We want to put knowledge in their hands so they can make the best decision for them. He has not taken a vaccine away from anyone or anybody. Vaccines are still available. We did look at the recommendations, what the vaccine, the child vaccine schedule should be. And it wasn't just this was willy-nilly. No, what happened is the president said we need to look at this. And so what did we do? We went and we compared the vaccine schedule for children for other countries, other peer countries, countries like ourselves, advanced countries, and said, what are they doing? And we looked and found out that what we were doing was not in line, and they had good science backing them up. So all we did was we went from 17 to 10 vaccinations recommended, but we're not preventing anybody from getting a vaccine. What we've simply done is look at the science and say, this is what the science suggests. So Robert F. Kennedy has not pulled vaccines from anybody. He's not preventing anybody from getting a vaccine. He's simply saying, Mom and Dad, you make the decision for your kids. What we're not going to have in this administration is a government forcing and mandating vaccines into our bodies or medicines down our throat, or advocating for cutting our children's body parts off for some left radical, really sick ideology.
I mean, we talk about all the time the regret we have. Like, in
Awful.
what world is it a good idea to take your 6-week-old and get jabbed with 4 different chemicals in one? I mean, but we trusted our doctors, and I think our doctors were just doing what they were told in medical school based on science. So very grateful for that, because I feel like Abs and I are always like, we need to go apologize to our kids.
We really
should
do.
know better.
Well, I think it's, again, we have to be led by science, like I said, but we have to empower patients. I mean, as a surgeon, I lived and died by informed consent. I had patients who I said, maybe I diagnosed a prostate cancer, and I said, here's your treatment options, sir. Here's what I think is best. Here's the options. What's right for you? And if they made a decision that I disagreed with, I didn't abandon them. I said, I respect you. We respect people's right, or we respect their intellect to make a decision for themselves. It's all about informed consent. What you will never see this administration, and what you will never see me or Secretary Kennedy or Dr. Oz or Dr. Bhattacharya, you'll never see us try to force our personal agenda on people. We'll always be guided by science, and we'll always give them the ability to make the decisions for their own health.
And you would think post-COVID, people would be thrilled for that. And yet there still seems to be pushback on that idea. There's pushback on the COVID vaccine still. I have young grandchildren. It's still pushed on them. Can you speak to that at all? Because it's unbelievable after all we've learned, after the evidence that's presented itself, that there would be any pushback at all. That we'd say, no, we really do want to make the decision for ourselves. We want to make the decision for our children. We're not anti-science. We're not vaccine deniers.
That's exactly right.
That's not who we are.
We aren't. I've heard Secretary Kennedy say in his confirmation hearing, just like I said in my confirmation hearing, listen, we know vaccines can save lives. We also know not every vaccine is the same. We also know not every vaccine is right for every individual. So you would think people would be happy to have us be able and empower folks to make their own decisions. But again, I think there are those on the left, there are those who hate the president, they hate the secretary, they really hate the ability of people to think for themselves.
Yes.
Right? So they don't support our agenda, which our agenda is health and freedom.
And we're so glad. So I'll save it.
No, if you're on the track, go. Stay
Well,
on
I
track.
wanted to talk food pyramid.
Oh, that's
good.
actually where I was going to go.
Okay, perfect. Same brain as always.
Great. I'm glad because this is important. The new dietary guidelines are absolutely incredible. They are amazing. And so what law requires is that at least every 5 years new guidelines come out. And so when you look at the guidelines from the past, particularly the recommendations that were made by the prior administration, it was just pushing highly processed, highly sugary, fake food on the American people. Why do we have an obesity epidemic in this country among kids, among adults? At least part because of the junk food that are pushed down our throat. And our dietary guidelines do just like.
Welcome back. We're the right side. In case you missed us, I'm Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair and JP on this day before the day we have a party on the air.
It's a party over here.
We're going to have a great time. It's going to be decorated because Allison's good at that. And it's going to be fun. And we have, you just have to wait till tomorrow. But you know what time it is? Because it's Wednesday. And Wednesday means hot flash news.
Excuse me.
Never gets old.
Excuse me.
I have really, really sad news to start with.
Why?
What? Oh, Allison.
Y'all let me know. We're going back to the roots of the flashing hot news. I am not going to pontificate because I think all the stories are interesting. I'm just going to give you a snippet, read a headline. You say swipe right. Wait, is right good?
Right's good.
Okay. Or swipe left.
Okay.
Freddie has been canceled.
Why?
Swipe right.
Swipe right.
Freddie? Like soccer fan Freddie?
It is such a tragic American story. Actually, let's just say a tragic, why we cannot have nice things libtard story. Actually, Mario Nawfall agrees. Freddie's story is quite a tragedy of modern social media. A German fan road tripping through America, marveling at everyday life in the South, built a following of 753,000 people almost overnight, purely on good vibes and genuine curiosity. Then the machine turned. Old posts resurfaced without context. Critics attacked him for the audacity of having a good time, and the fame he never wanted disrupted the simple trip he came for, and he left. It's hard not to see it as proof that these platforms often chew up the very authenticity they pretend to celebrate. He disabled his account.
Wait, what were the posts?
I don't know. People, he did make a post, okay, before he left. Just want to let you know why I deactivated my account. It was the plan all along, even before we started the World Cup trip. So it was just a fun account while he was here. Too many people seem to have a problem with us having a genuinely good time here in the country. And this is ruining the fun a bit for us because we really just wanted to document our road trip and never expected that people would have a problem with it. So people started digging in my 22,000 posts to find a handful of their opinion of my opinion controversial and post them, complain about them with zero context to make me look like a bad person. Rip Freddie.
Rip Freddie.
Rip Freddie.
It's a good run.
It's so sad though.
No.
Meanwhile, the Biscuit French are blaming Americans for the air conditioning problem in France and the heat wave.
Are we still allowed to say this word? I can't say that word.
How is it our fault that their AC doesn't work? We can barely get our AC to work.
That's just called gaslighting, French style.
Literally, because they're saying we produce too much gas, CO2, that our climate change and our consumption lifestyle over in America is single-handedly killing. I think it was like, how many thousands of people have died now? Over because there's no air conditioning.
And isn't it like a 15% of the French have air conditioning, the rest of them don't? So it sounds like a them problem, a massive gaslighting problem, and a no, viva la France. No. You're idiots falling for the climate scam agenda.
More than 1,300 excess deaths since late June from the heat.
And it's our fault.
French health authorities reported over 1,000 excess deaths. Around 85% of these fatalities are individuals aged 65 and older.
That's tragic. But it's our fault. That's audacious when you consider the size of the universe and just the size of the Earth and the galaxy, that we could even have anything to do, anything at all to do with that. It's quite audacious.
Maybe the French should remember that they should be thanking us they even exist, because they lost to the Nazis in like 2 days.
And also the French Revolution. Nothing great came out of that. So
Stop wearing skinny jeans.
Yeah.
Trump congratulates Xi Jinping.
Xi Jinping.
Swipe right.
You know what Trump said?
I'm going to like it because this sounds like classic Trump.
I would like to congratulate President Xi and the great country of China on their massive birthright citizenship win.
Wow.
That's the Trump
Pretty
we
good.
voted for.
So, Katie Britt last night in her speech used a term that I think we need to adopt. And I think Tom Homan kind of said it, but I like the way she said it better. She talked about birthright tourism.
Yep.
And Abs, you brought it up a while ago, months ago, that of these hospitals and places in California where people come just to have babies here. Birthright tourism is a real thing, and I think it's mainly with the Chinese people.
Yes, indeed it is. And it's how the Chinese will also, alongside other immigrants, manage to take us over, because they will indoctrinate their children into the CCP ways while they're here. And then one day we'll wake up and be surprised. Wait, it was a Chinese too. But there are birthright tourism companies. I believe there's something like 200 of them.
How is that a thing?
We're not going looking to cause trouble. So we can't believe that there are people who just, their sole job in life is to look for trouble, create trouble, make mayhem. These are the birthright tourism people and the companies that they run to try to replace Americans. Right under our nose.
Well, that's what the Amy Coney Barrett's and the John Roberts, they don't get, or maybe they do, and they're just being malicious. But I think the narrative is like the dreamers that came here and just had a baby, and life happens, and that kid should have an opportunity. No, it's like you said, the malicious adversaries who are just having them come here to have babies, so that then they can have a foot in with a citizen. So that is actually what's happening. Yeah, but I think the term birthright tourism is much better because it nails it on the head.
Yep, we're going to use it. Keir Starmer said yesterday in front of Parliament, I don't think there is any parliament that is gayer than this parliament.
Oh, please swipe right.
Can you believe it? And that was his flex. I don't know what else there is to say about that, but that was literally his flex. We are gayer than any other parliament out there.
Oh, we know. Trust me. And we're going to celebrate that we are not a part of that gay government in about 3 days.
Quote, I'm really proud that we've got the gayest parliament. I don't think just of all time anywhere in the world, I don't think there's any parliament that is gayer than this parliament. That is fantastic.
Jolly old England has
so gay.
fallen.
We're the most homosexual.
Oh,
so gay.
Oh, there's a relationship in there with all that's going on, but I'm going to save it. I'm going to save it.
Y'all want some local headlines?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
1819 News, Erica Thomas has a story, and I haven't read it, but I had to bookmark it.
I love Erica.
Let's just guess what this story is. Illegal alien captured after federal indictment over Fairhope gold bars scam.
Gold bars as in like gold bars that they sell on the TVs.
Do you want me to swipe right?
Yes.
We can all
Swipe
learn.
right.
Yes.
But what do you think it means? Illegal alien captured after federal indictment over Fairhope gold bar scam.
He got gold bars and kept them for himself, and somebody found them.
Yeah, something like that.
Bars.
Or is it? I don't know. That's all I can come up with.
Okay. An illegal alien from Nepal who is accused of scamming a Fairhope couple is now in custody after his alleged partner in crime was arrested in December 2025. The couple are from India and they are accused of running an illegal online operation. Investigators say that the wife received a pop-up message on her iPad warning her account was compromised. She transferred money to rectify the fraudulent warning. The couple was convinced to allow the hackers to access their computer to purchase gold bars. The bars were shipped to the couple's home, where Patel and Sharma allegedly traveled to pick them up. Patel, who was in the United States with an expired visa, was also linked to scams in South Carolina and Mississippi. Okay, I thought maybe they went to Fort Knox, sold some bars, and then...
Which is not a bad idea.
Which, by the way, whatever happened to Fort Knox?
The gold is gone. It's
Like,
not, there's no way it's there.
That was a Trump himself saying, yeah, let's go to Fort Knox and let's live stream it. Let's figure out what's there. And now it just kind of like, oh, no.
They're like,
I don't know.
Sir.
Mr. President.
Kind of like I do to Abs sometimes.
No, I think Abs does that to you sometimes.
Well, yeah.
We do it to each other.
Just zip it. It's gone.
You know, we've yet to like pinch each other under the table. So things haven't gotten that serious.
Mhm.
But we do know each other's looks by now when it's
The worst at keeping his looks in is JP.
Yeah.
It's all over his face.
Yeah.
All right, one more story. This is from Yellowhammer, and it's kind of sad. I don't know if y'all know him. I have friends of friends, but the search for William Bill North, who is an assistant district attorney in Jefferson County, Besserman, he fell into the lake at Logan Martin, and they just found his body. He was doing a sailboat thing, but they found his body and he passed away. Does anybody know anything more about that?
that's all. I mean, it sounds like, did it happen on Saturday morning or Sunday morning?
I have no idea.
Sunday morning.
That it feels like he fell in and hit his head or had an event, and you won't know until you do an autopsy, perhaps like a heart attack, and fell in. But it's awfully tragic.
But it does make you go,
Yeah.
God, something I thought
happened.
he hit his head.
That was my motherly instinct, was that he hit his head.
But you think about how, like, we're going to the lake this weekend. You're on the boat. Somebody, you're not even really paying attention, especially with an adult. They jump in. Sounds like they jump in. Oh, they're just going for a swim a little further away. What do? You can't see. I don't know. I don't know if he was in a race or what, but gosh, our heart goes out to that family here in Birmingham.
I'm very sorry to hear that.
I got more, but we got an interview to show.
We do have an interview to show. So basically, whatever we didn't get to today that we feel like talking about tomorrow, because we do what we want, is going to be a part of the show. We're going to have costume changes. We're going to have guests. We're going to share our favorite founding father story from each of us. And then Allison, if she can go back and find that game about the trivia questions that relate to our founding.
I got game.
I mean, it's going to be.
I got the game.
It's going to be a great day tomorrow.
And what are we doing tonight?
Oh, yeah. We're going to the Crawfish Boil.
It's going to be so good.
Oh,
what?
Also, everybody be on the lookout. I don't know, JP, I know your plate is really full, but do you think we'll get the video out from the Katie? All of her best friends call her KBB.
KBB.
So, do you think we'll have video from the BBBQ?
I can post it tonight.
Okay. Y'all get to see what we did. We'll do something from the Algop crawfish boil tonight here in Hoover. That'll be fun.
Maybe a food taste test or something. I don't like crawfish.
You don't?
But I like corn
I
and
love
potatoes.
crawfish.
And maybe there'll be something chocolate.
Do you eat the brains?
Nah.
Ew, Allison!
That's what you do. You suck the head. You peel it apart and you
immediately know.
Allison.
Oh, yeah. Put that on a button. JP's going to do it.
Yes,
I can't do it. I'll throw up.
Oh, no, not the
Because it looks
brains,
like
no.
poop.
No.
Allison!
Okay, y'all, we have an interview that we're going to play. We filmed it yesterday, so we'll do a costume change, but it was really yesterday. Dr. Ashley Lucas, who is kind of a big deal. She has a huge following. She's a professional ballerina who kind of started going, we're not eating right. I'm not feeling great. And has really gotten involved in the Maha movement. She has, what's her organization?
PhD Wellness.
Well, you'll hear it in the
something?
interview. It's very interesting. She talks through kind of how the evolution of food in America and how we're really not even eating real food.
Mm.
Basically all plastic.
Yeah, it's not good news.
But stick around. That interview is coming up now. And then we'll see y'all tomorrow. We might start out with some British.
Yes, we are going to practice. I'm going to practice my accent for the rest of the day.
You sound like
darlings.
Margaret Thatcher.
Well, I'd like to have an aristocratic accent. So,
And then we're going to trans to Americans all in one show. Go America. We'll see you tomorrow.
to the right side, I am Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair. We are thrilled to be joined by Dr. Ashley Lucas, who has written a great article in the Washington Stand. She's also the owner, founder, and advisory consultant for PhD Weight Loss and Nutrition. Ashley, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, you guys.
So in your article, I love the history that you laid out in it, but there was a staggering statistic, and that's that more than 70% of American adults are now overweight or obese, and over 40 million are living with diabetes or pre-diabetes. But you say something interesting. It's not a failure of willpower. It is the predictable outcome of a culture that's drifted too far from the basics. What are the basics?
The basics are what you guys have probably heard over and over again. Eating whole foods from the earth in the way that they were created for us. Sleeping well, managing our stress, looking at our lifestyle, getting outside, seeing the sun, thinking about moving our bodies in a way that feels natural, that we enjoy. I think a lot of us, when it comes to exercise, feel like we just need to burn calories and we're going to get on the elliptical machine or the treadmill or try to run as far as possible and look at our MyFitnessPal tracker to see how many more calories we can consume rather than tuning in and mindfully eating and listening to what our body signals are telling us to do. Eating more foods, whole foods, less processed. We hear protein all over the place these days, and that is right. I give that a thumbs up. Focusing on maintaining our muscle. I'd say that these are the basics. Drinking water when our body says that we're thirsty. There's so much information coming at us, I think, when it comes to weight loss and what even to eat, that it is so confusing and contradictory that we're lost. And I see it every day. And with that being said, there is hope and we can create change. We don't need a ton of medications. But yeah, we do need to come back home a bit.
It's actually very simple, but we make it so complex. And one of the things in your article that I was really interested in was you kind of walk us through from when the Pilgrims came over and everybody was settling from England and how we ate then through the Industrial Revolution. And now it's all this processed food. I remember I try and grow a garden every year. It's not working well. But the very first year, I always have success with tomatoes. But anyway, it's the weirdest thing. And I remember my kids going out and we had tomatoes hanging on a vine and they were like, oh. And tomatoes don't grow in the grocery store. They grow in the ground and you can do it at home too. We are so out of touch with where food should come from. Can you give us a quick walkthrough of kind of that history of how we used to eat and our health versus how we eat now and our health?
Yeah. So the first 100 years in America, we like 80 to 90% of us lived on farms. And if you can imagine what we ate, right? It was local, it was seasonal. We didn't have a lot of processed foods. You know, the seasonality is one thing that's interesting. If you go into the grocery store, you can buy mangoes the size of your head, bananas, tropical fruits at any time of the year. Strawberries are like the size of your hand. Honeycrisp apples are the size of your head. You know, if you think about way back then, we had apples, but for only a period of time. The apples were smaller, they were more tart. So, you know, we ate the foods that came from the earth again, right? If we were going to drink milk, it was raw milk, it was whole milk. We had cream, we had butter. Oh my gosh. There's a really great book called The Big Fat Surprise by Nina Tetchels. And she talks about how fat is so important. And we've demonized fat.
Yep.
Now, you know, we went through the Industrial Revolution and we started making margarine and we started making baby formula, saying that all of this man-made stuff was better than what the earth actually gave us. It never is. We always just really mess things up. So that was the first 100 years. And then we went to the 1900s. We had the Industrial Revolution. And at that point, about 40% of us were farmers. And then with World War II, there were a huge increase in preservatives, frozen meals, mass marketing, mass food production. And by the 1950s, 15% of us were farmers.
Wow.
Food was something bought rather than something that we grew. And here is where, if you look back, there's lots of marketing and advertising around sugar. Like sugar is the new diet pill. Sugar is what keeps you thin. And that was all from, like, you know, the sugar lobbyists. And so then we labeled fat as bad. And the minute we did that and we traded man-made foods and high sugar consumption instead of foods that come from the earth and healthy fats, we started getting fatter and sicker than ever.
So, wow. What about this? In your article, you talk about changing the conversation, because that's really what needs to happen. If you go through the history of how you've just taught us and instructed people in your article to where we are now, lobbyists are paying for everything we think we should consume versus reality that we know is healthy for us. So how do we begin to earnestly changing the conversation about health and fitness and what we put in our bodies and what we do on a daily basis?
How do we start changing the conversation? You know, I believe that we have started to do that. With the MAHA movement, I feel the most hope that I have felt for a very long time for our health in the United States. I am in love with the new food pyramid. Through my weight loss and nutrition company, we have been guiding people to eat this way for the last 10 years. So I am so excited to see animal protein being up there instead of beans. You know, you guys listening to this, beans are not a great source of protein. I wouldn't even count them as a source of protein, by the way. Peanut butter, nuts and seeds, it's fine, but they're not high quality protein sources. So I think the conversation has started. I am looking forward to how it's going to be implemented into school lunches. We're still very confused there. So high hopes for that. And then just us making the changes within our family units and being aware that if we are told to eat something, to check in with our bodies, you know, think about, does it make sense? Does this man-made version of this food that comes in its natural form, does it really seem to be better? An example of this might be choosing whole eggs with the yolk, which is where all the vitamins and minerals are, by the way. And the combination of the yolk and the white makes it like this perfect nature's multivitamin instead of egg beaters. What makes sense? Consuming heavy cream that comes from the way that it was produced by a cow, or coffee mate. So going through, or even fat-free, a lot of people come to me and they're consuming fat-free half and half. I'm like, half and half is not meant to be, and heavy cream is not meant to be fat-free. So we've just been brainwashed with this. And I think it's just coming in tune and thinking, okay, how is this food supplied from nature? Maybe that's better than what the man-made form of it could potentially be.
It's so funny you talk about fat-free. I remember I maybe was in middle school or 5th grade. This is when all the fat-free stuff started coming out, and I can remember buying, and I don't even like fig Newtons. I don't even know what is a Newton, what is a fig. Anyway, but they made fat-free fig Newtons, and we just thought we could eat like the whole thing. We were thinking you could just go for the whole sleeve, because it's fat-free. We had no clue, and we've been lied to for so long. And I think especially we each have 4 kids, and I don't know if you have children, but you watch kids and what they are so used to eating. I kind of, through a series of events a few years ago, kind of starts reading into and researching what you're talking about: seed oils, fats.
Yeah.
Okay. Margarine is basically plastic, all these things that we grew up on. It makes me sad to see where our kids are, especially, but I think, like you said, we're starting to make a turn. But what was it for you? Because you have a history. You were a professional ballerina. How did you get involved in this, and why? What made you want to turn this into a profession?
Well, man, I was on the parade for fat-free food for sure, just like you. I remember spray butter, right? Like, what is that? But I would have that on fat-free deli meat. I would make instant fat-free pudding, by the way, which like solidifies faster than concrete. And I would put fat-free Cool Whip on it. It was just like, how fat-free can you get these things? And meanwhile, I was dancing 8 hours a day. I was in my mid-20s. I had high cholesterol. I was pre-diabetic. I was struggling with my weight. I was so frustrated. I had to step away from my professional dancing career because my body could not survive on that way of eating with those athletic demands. And so I had to step away, and that's how I got into the field of nutrition and weight loss. I went and earned my PhD in sports nutrition and chronic disease. I really wanted to figure out how we could support a metabolism, a healthy body composition, in a way where we're not just shutting the body down and sticking it into survival mode, which is where I was. And then I have a huge passion on mindset and the mental, emotional, habit, behavior associated with creating transformation in our lives. So I studied that as well, and I've put the two things together. I believe that we can't drop weight and keep it off if we don't think about why we eat the way we eat, and maybe patterns that show up in our lives over and over again that the weight symbolizes. So that really is my true passion, is knitting together the right type of foods with the right behavior and the right mindset so we can create something that actually lasts.
That's profound.
So now you clearly, you have the Dr. Ashley show, which I want you to tell us about it. And then if people want to find out more about what you're doing, your books, your writings, your programs, how do they do that?
Yeah, so the Dr. Ashley Show is a YouTube channel that I've got and a podcast. So I do 2 videos a week just talking about how to actually take action. And my goal is to make it as simple as possible so that you can take action if you are ready to create change in your life. I have a company called a PhD Weight Loss, and that's where we have customized programs to help people drop weight and keep it off. The website for that is myphdweightloss.com. And then I've got social media like everybody else, Dr. Ashley. Dr. Ashley Lucas is the handle for those. And I just really have a passion in helping people break free from what they feel like is no hope, or they feel like they need a lot of medication, or that they've got these chronic progressive diseases that really don't need to be chronic or progressive. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun for me.
I think this is something we have kind of, like I said, kind of grown into over the years. We've had a show together for about 5 years and just learning, and it's a whole paradigm shift. But your information, I hope you'll keep us posted, as I know you're involved with the Maha movement and all that. Keep us posted, keep us updated, reach out as you come across new initiatives, new things that are happening. I'm going to go follow the Dr. Ashley Show on YouTube.
Okay, fine. Well, I'll see you there. If you comment, I respond, so I'll be looking.
All right. Friends. Yes. That's awesome.
Right.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us today. I really
Thanks,
appreciate
ladies.
it.
Thank you.
Talk to you soon.